Hi everyone. Hey, how you doing? I'm like 2 minutes late and I'm already getting texts asking where am I. So I appreciate you loyal viewers. While we're waiting on folks to join, I'm going to remind you to go to coopedup.com. That's my website. I actually just posted a kind of a throwback Thursday today of wedding photos on there. Be sure, if you were on Instagram in particular, but other platforms, follow me at I'm Cooped Up. That's my handle. And wherever you watch or listen to any of this mess, be sure to click the bell to be notified that I have come live. Hey, Mama, how you doing? So, let me text Monica back. Just went live. What in the corn dog hell? You scared me, Monica said that I was not coming live. Y'all are so sweet. So I actually just walked back into the house, from going to pick up my new to me Peloton bike. I bought it from someone who has used it only 8 times. It was a pandemic purchase for them, and they, I think, like I said, they didn't use it very much. 8 times, they claim. First of all, heavy as fuck. It is the heaviest thing that I've ever put in the back of my car. And it is still in the back of the car right now. I already feel healthier just owning it, but it's probably, I'm going to have to wait for Todd to get done with all of his meetings and such to get it out. I did not put it in all by myself. There were the people selling it were there. But I want to know, who the hell am I? I mean, this is just the progression of the metamorphosis that the pandemic has caused. First of all, I mean, we became RV people. I bought jorts. I wear Tevas. Not very often anymore. I have to get these keys out of my pocket. I keep hearing them make noise. I stayed at an RV park without an RV in San Antonio with Monica recently. We stayed at a cabin at an RV park instead of a luxury hotel. And now I own a Peloton. Will I double the usage? Rude question. Hopefully. It's the answer, though. Eric Johnson sent me a text earlier today, and it said, it was like, what was it? It said, Doctor, how often do you exercise? Me, 3 times. Doctor, a week? A month? Me, I have given my answer. Oh, so hopefully 8 times. But since I mentioned it yesterday, a lot of y'all have been sending recommendations on people to follow, rides to do. I don't know all the lingo yet, but it is a pretty bike. I will tell you that. It is a pretty piece of equipment, weighs a ton, and getting in the cart was no easy feat. So, but if you have any recommendations, hey, Sandy, finally watching from home. Good to see you. I work from home today too, also. So we're kind of doing back. So Todd is home indefinitely. They don't know when they're going back still. And it doesn't look like the tide is turning in the right direction for him to go back anytime soon. So we'll see on that. My office is still open, but everyone's kind of in and out as they need to be. I did not even go in today, though. I was doing, I'm still catching up on, because being out, it's today the 5th, though, so I'm not that far behind. But like the very beginning of the month for me, first couple of days, there's a ton of reporting I have to do, some invoicing, checking on things like balancing, closing out the previous month and starting the new month, right? Just as a business owner, things that you have to do. And so I spent most of the day doing those today. And those are things that I prefer actually to do when I'm not at the office. Even before the pandemic, I preferred to do them from home because there's less interruptions. Because it is one of those things when you were invoicing expenses, which is like the worst thing ever. I hate invoicing my expenses back. But then they build up and I'm like, well, bitch, that's a car payment, or 5 sometimes. I do that because if I get interrupted even once by anything that I would rather do, I am like, nope, that's what I'm going to do instead. And so I'm not, and also if I get off track and then I'm like, where did I end? Where did I start? All that kind of stuff. Monica is listening on the road in the car headed to Port O'Connor, some fishing. Hopefully the weather is better there this time than last time. It's beautiful here in Dallas today. I hear that it's going to change very quickly and like tomorrow already. So one of the things I was doing, so I've been going down a rabbit hole researching all this. What app do I need for Peloton, and what does it come with, and how much does it cost, and blah 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 blah, blah, all that kind of stuff. And I was looking at the apps on my iPad. So I got my iPad right here. Do y'all organize your apps? This is something that I'm wanting to know because I used to, and then I stopped, and then I found that I don't really need to. So like the first screen right there, look at those beautiful faces. So I've got like folders, like that one's titled utilities. This one is titled social media, news, photography, work. But then from there, it just kind of goes off the rails. Like I have still a couple like shopping, finance, dining, travel, that sort of stuff. But then it's just screen after screen after screen after screen after screen after screen of apps. Is that how y'all's looks? I just stopped organizing them because now when I do is I'll do this thing where you kind of pull it down like that and just type in what I want. I already know. I actually now find it harder to find things on my iPad and my iPhone if they're in a folder. So I just either swipe down and look for the name, or if I know if it's an app that I've downloaded most recently, I know it's probably on one of the last pages. So honestly, I look mostly at the first page and the last page of all my thing. So Sandy's saying she has folders on her phone. She let it go. I let it go for a while, then I get OCD and move them into folders. Yeah, I'm the opposite. Like the folders freak me out because then I can't see. I'm one of those people who has, it's a very common thing with ADHD people where it's called object permanence. And basically, and if you have seen where I live and work and all that stuff, this will make total sense to you, where if I don't see it, it does not exist. So I have to keep things where I can see them so I remember that they even exist in the first place, right? So notes, papers, all that stuff. And so it looks like I'm an extremely messy person, but actually I know where everything is and it's not messy. So, but because then I'm like, so on the apps, if I'm swiping, I remember, oh, I've got that, or I've got that, or I've got that. Michelle's saying, I agree. Folders don't always work for getting the apps that I want. And the other thing that I do is every time and Sandy does lose some apps sometimes. The other thing that I do when I get a new iPad or a new iPhone is I never bring in the previous anything. I start from scratch every single time. And then what I will do is, so the way I have a Gmail account where I keep all of my contacts. My contacts are only synced to the Gmail account. They do not sync to iCloud or anything like that. So contacts, phone, or not phone, contacts, calendar, what else? There's something else that only notes, I think, only syncs to that Gmail account. And so then once you log into that, it automatically puts everything back on your phone. You don't have to transfer anything like that. Works wonderfully. You just have to make sure it's the only place that you have it. Don't let it do your calendar or your contacts with iCloud or anything else, or on the local device especially. And then I log into iCloud to get the photos, and it eventually downloads all the photos. And then what I'll do is I will just flip through like my old device and start picking out apps that I know I use a lot. So Facebook, go figure, Instagram, Google Drive, things like that, right? The apps that I use a lot. And then they start building up and building up and building up again as I remember that I need things. But it's kind of like a Marie Kondo situation. And I'm sure there's a Marie Kondo philosophy behind this too. But if I haven't used it in 6 months, or if I don't remember that I have it, I'm like, be gone with you. So I was curious. I meant to ask. So I was hoping Carrie was going to be on yesterday, because that was the topic I was wanting to talk to her about. Because I feel like Carrie is like uber organized. Carrie has like a system for everything. Her house is always so clean, so organized. She also has no children whatsoever. So did y'all hear that? Speaking of children, that is my children constantly asking for apps to download. That is the thing of the day for them. What else was I going to talk about? Like I said, I just walked in the door like 2 minutes before coming live from picking up the Peloton. It's still in the back of my car in the driveway. What else was I going to talk about? Oh, today on coopedup.com, be sure to go to, I'm going to put that banner back up. Be sure to go to coopedup.com. I uploaded a post today, a throwback Thursday, of photos, some select photos from our wedding day, which was in 2014. No rhyme or reason to why I did it today, because our anniversary is July 25th. It was just one of those things where while we were at my in-laws' house and the internet sucks balls there, and not in the good way, it was, sorry, Sterling, if you're listening, my nephew in the car. I started going through my things. So here's the other thing. Talk about being worried. I take screenshots of everything just so I remember, quote unquote, remember. I never remember shit. Let's go to my photos here. So I was going through stuff and I saw my wedding photos came up and I was like, oh, that would be a nice little throwback Thursday. But listen to this. Screenshots. I currently have, does it say how many I have right now? It usually does, I thought. Well, anyway, I have thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of screenshots. I've already gone through all of them from the beginning until the beginning of time until I think I've gotten through 2019. So I've got 2020 and 2021 still left to go. But just random shit. Also, who knew I was such a petty bitch? Used to be. That's the old me. All the screenshots that I took of things, and then I was sending them to other people to rag on them. Oh, so Sandy's saying, so the photos from your wedding, love them. I have learned, just in life generally, always bring a photographer. It pays off, always. Hire the photographer. Buy the photo package. Just like we did with the whitewater rafting, which I need to put those up too. But just going through so that's what triggered me to put the wedding photos up, is that I was going through my iPad, deleting a bunch of stuff and then looking at it and all of that. And then I threw them I use this photo editing software called Lightroom. And so also, is my car unlocked? Michelle is saying, it technically is. The screen is inside already. The bike itself is in the back. And if you can get that out, if you can get it out by yourself, you do not need a Peloton, because you are the fittest woman on planet Earth. It is straight up steel. I mean, it is so fucking heavy. Like, I was shocked, I tell you. I don't have, but I mean, I guess if you got like this 225-pound man going on it, it better be sturdy. I don't want that thing splatting under me. That would be a scene. That'd be a lawsuit also. I broke my crotch on the Peloton, everybody. What else do I have to talk about today? Oh, Michelle, my neighbor. So you'll appreciate this. So after we got back from our last RV trip, I think it was the RV trip, we were not seeing our cat Bear, the black one, very often. He just wasn't coming around anymore. Stripes, our striped one, kids made up the names, was coming around all the time, but Bear wasn't. And we were starting to worry, and I was like, okay, is the cat okay? Like, is he going to be all right? And I think I may have told the story already, but I was leaving the house the other day, like literally hadn't seen the cat in like 2 weeks. Was going around the corner. I was a few houses down, going around the corner, and I see him walking out of a bush at someone's house. So I pull over the car, and I was running late to something, but I still pulled over the car and got out. He looks at me and just starts meow, 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 starts talking to me, would not come up to me. So I walked up to him. He kind of does that thing that cats do, where when you walk up to them, they saunter away, but at a speed slightly slower than you're walking, so that you do eventually catch up to them. Cats are the worst. And then he laid down and let me pet him for a minute, but then I left. But then he hasn't come around again, but at least I know he's alive, right? And it reminded me of the thing. Something that I learned early in the pandemic, I don't know why I learned this. Did you know that cats are so fucking manipulative? They only meow at humans. Cats do not meow to each other. They do not meow unless they are using it to communicate with a human. Only domesticated cats meow. and they only do it to humans. They growl at each other, they'll all that at each other, but you will not hear cats meowing at each other. That little chirpy meow, 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 meow sound, that is only to humans. I am not there for that. That is rude and manipulative. But it also shows you how fucking smart a cat is to figure out how to manipulate their master, right? They always say that they own us. Funny you didn't pick him up. You pet and leave. No wonder he's pissed. Exactly. I was like, okay, peace out, cat. I'm glad to see you're alive. I didn't want to put him in the... First of all, I was running late somewhere. I didn't want to put him in the car. You all know how cats act. I've never understood this. The number of cats that we see on RV travels, like in people's RVs, or even worse, on a fucking leash. People walking their cats on a leash. Blows my mind. Blows my mind. Also, our cats are... I don't know that I've ever put them in the car. Their shots are so out of date right now. But I know I put one of them in the car when Stripes, when he was really sick one time, and took him to the vet. But other than that, I don't mess with them in the car. And because I mean, I have childhood trauma memories of us putting our cats in the car and they just start like running around inside the car and tearing shit up, and no, not having that. So I was like, okay, well, you're alive. You know, we're here. Bear leaves the hood for weeks at a time. I know he does. I think he goes across the creek. There's a little condo community on the other. There's a creek. So there's a tennis court and a green space and a creek, a very wooded creek across from my house. And then on the other side of that, there is a condo complex that we can't actually see, but it is there. I think he has another home over there. That's whatever. Monica, it's so funny that you say that. So the reason Bear has his name is that my sister Monica one time took a cat from my mom's house and gifted this little kitten to us. Sweetest little cat. Cute little black thing. Loved him until we didn't. So she gave it to me as a prank, kind of, because he was the like psycho cat at mom's house, and they wanted to get rid of him. So she thought, oh, let's pawn him off on Cooper. Well, then he gets here. Everyone loves him. He's so sweet and nice. Just pets and purrs. And Monica's like, well, that didn't turn out like I expected. Well, then all of a sudden, I don't know what happened, but from one day to the next, I walked out the door and he looks at me and just hisses. Terrible cat. And so I was like, fuck you then. If you start treating me like this, I'm not going to feed you anymore. So I stopped feeding him, and he went and lived at a different house, like 3 blocks over. We'd occasionally see him, and I think he gave me the kitty flip off occasionally. But yeah, so that's, maybe he's living out his divine prophecy of being named after the other bear. So this is his thing. I don't know. What else was I going to talk about today? So the kids are away. Kids are away for, I guess Todd flies out a week from he was the meanest, and then he wasn't, and then he was again. So kids are away until next Saturday. Todd flies out tomorrow to go get them, and then he flies back with them on Saturday. So I'll be home alone for one night. But we're not living it up. Like we ordered Indian food. What did we order last night? Oh, we ordered Cheesesteak House last night. Oh my God, there's this hole-in-the-wall restaurant in our neighborhood called the Cheesesteak House, which makes cheesesteaks. It is so fucking good, and they can deliver within like 20 minutes. It is the best. Cheesy cheesesteak is what I order with an extra side of queso. It is not low-cal. Last meal before Peloton. And we ordered Indian from 8 Cloves, I think is what it's called, 2 nights ago, and have been eating on that. I had the rest of that today for lunch. It was... burn your mouth off though, because the curry was starting to settle and all of that. So if y'all have any questions to ask me or anything like that, please they come back this weekend. I thought it was another week. It's a week from tomorrow. So Todd leaves, did I say tomorrow? I meant a week from. Todd leaves a week from tomorrow, and then he flies back the next day, that's a week from Saturday, and then they're here Sunday and they start school on Monday. And then it's all systems go back to quote unquote normal. We'll see what normal is, y'all. It's kind of freaking me out. So Dallas County went back up to red, which is the highest alert, where they're recommending everyone wear masks indoors, regardless of your vaccination status. And a lot of businesses are now remandating that you have to wear masks in them. So first of all, I'm gonna have to remember to keep taking my mask with me. I finally just left one in my car because I already yesterday went somewhere and forgot it, and I was like, "Fuck." I'm not overly worried about it for myself, but just the numbers don't look good. I think that Parkland, our county hospital, is back up to top level, like full capacity again. Not good, y'all. And supposedly Killeen, Texas, just west of Temple, Texas, is like the worst in the state right now. Like crazy pants. And people just aren't getting the vaccine out there. And they'll say, I don't trust anything. But then they have like, how do you make a decision if you literally trust no points of reference? That's the thing I don't understand. They're like, I don't trust what anyone says, either way, whatever. Well, how do you make a decision if you don't have a trusted advisor? Like, where does that decision come from? Like, that's what I don't understand. Because the decision should be informed, right? Not just an emotional one. I'm guessing it is not emotional. Military not taking the vaccine. Yeah. And now there's the Delta Plus variant. I know. I don't even want to know about all that one. Monica's asking, did I tell them about my HEB Plus experience? Okay. So this is Monica making me eat crow here. Pardon my hair. I just was outside. So you know how I have previously said I do not understand the big deal about HEB. I think it's a lovely grocery store, but I do not understand. We don't have them in Dallas. They don't come this far north. But I do not understand why people lose their minds over how awesome they are, blah, 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 right? So we have the central markets, which are the fancy schmancy ones, but we don't have the regular ones. So when we were in San Antonio 2 weekends ago, we went to an HEB Plus. So HEB regular, I still reserve that judgment on those. I'm still saying I do not get why everyone thinks it is the best thing ever and all of that. HEB Plus, that's the bomb diggity, y'all. Like, it is all of that. It was so crazy. They have all kinds of like food items. They have like regular, like they had furniture, they had clothing. They had, I mean, I don't think I'm buying much clothing at the grocery store, but stranger things have happened to me since the pandemic started. Maybe I'm just going to start wearing HEB grocery store caftan around the house. Wouldn't that be a kick in the head? They have like these, oh my God, this queso that they have. So they have this pre-made queso pack. It is basically like a serving tray kind of thing. And it's got shredded cheese and brisket. It's got like 2 or 3 kinds of cheese in it. Brisket, like pico de gallo, some other stuff that's all loose in it. And then you just peel the lid off of it and you put it in the oven for like, you can put it, they say to put it on the grill, like a 400-degree grill. We put it in the oven at 400 degrees. Holy moly. We ate that for dinner. And again, I'm not claiming to be the at the height of my health at the moment. So we did some like Taco Bueno style or Taco Cabana style nachos. I put a handful of chips in a bowl and I literally just poured the queso straight on top of it. Oh my God. Y'all, it was so good. HEB is a glorified Walmart in my humble opinion, Jackie is saying. Them's fighting words with some Texans. I just don't get all geeked out about any grocery store, honestly. Because even the fancy ones, I think Whole Foods is where white people behave badly. I just cannot stand that store. And it always smells like an old vitamin in there too. Even the new ones do. And then Central Market is also white people behaving badly. And Central Market is like the IKEA of grocery stores because they make you wind through everything. And I'm not that much of a gourmand that I know what kind of orange I need specifically for there's like 14 kinds of oranges. And I'm like, I just want the orange one. Can you find me the orange one? Monica's saying, shut your mouth, Jackie. HEB is going to punch Tom Thumb, Albertsons, and Kroger when they come into the DFW market. Yeah. I think Walmart, though, is the largest grocer, isn't it? I believe so. So I would say it was a clean store. I mean, the Plus was awesome. The Plus was awesome. The regular HEBs, I'm kind of like, it's all right. The pre-made stuff was good though, and it was all. So I've said this before. I am a fan of actual foods being actual foods. I'm not necessarily the healthiest of eaters, but I do want everything to be made out of actual ingredients of things. So I don't want a bunch of preservatives. I try to avoid added sugars, preservatives, chemicals that have like long names, like and stuff. Like I read labels. I want it to have like 10 ingredients or less. And I want every one of those to be something that I could potentially grow in my yard if I were inclined to do so, or butcher, buy at the butcher shop down the street. And so like I look at the labels on that, and their pre-made stuff was legit. I mean, it was really good. It was a lot of, if you looked at the hardly any preservatives or none at all. I don't know if it had a lot of salt because the stuff we ordered was, brisket queso is salty on chips. So that's going to be a salty thing anyway. So I'm not sure. Jody went to Restoration Hardware today for lunch with my version of Carrie. So his Carrie, and you were right, pricey. How much was it? It was like I said, our lunch for the two of us was $300. $300. Crazy. And it's not even all that. I mean, it's pretty and all, but it's not like the food wasn't. I mean, it was truffle French fries and a salad with salmon on it, and like this lame little cheese board. So Central Market is the shit, but in all fairness, the only HEB I've been to is in Burleson, and it wasn't that nice. So I disagree. I am not a fan of Central Market at all. I am not a fan. Too many choices, too many people behaving badly, too many, like I don't know how the one in Fort Worth is, Jackie, but the ones in Dallas are all, you have to wind through the whole damn store. I don't want to pass the seafood counter if I don't need seafood. I don't want to pass the wine section if I don't need wine, which I always need wine. I don't want to pass the whatever if I don't need it. It's like IKEA. Oh, yours was $300 too, Jody. Yep, I think so. And what else? I was just talking about something else. Oh, Monica's saying that HEB's tortillas are awesome too. Everyone was a fan favorite was the tortillas. So good. And the pre-marinated chicken fajitas, which Jackie, they actually have at Central Market too. I already looked it up because I'm thinking about ordering a bunch of this stuff and just doing a pickup from Central Market. I don't want to step foot in the store, but just a pickup from it. So an HEB is coming to Allen, Plano, and McKinney, and they'll be nicer. Yeah, I agree. And they'll probably be the HEB pluses. That leads me to something. I am so irritated by things that say that they're taking place in Dallas, like this Van Gogh thing that says it's in Dallas, or the Jurassic Park thing that says it's in Dallas, or I looked at something else and it said it's in Dallas. I booked this like virtual reality kind of game thing for a staff event later this month, and it's out in fucking Grandscape in Carrollton, where the Nebraska Furniture Mart is, but it says the Dallas location. Here's my thing on that. So I get it if you say you are from Dallas or from Fort Worth. Fort Worth people get real pissy if you call them Dallas. Unreasonably so, if you ask me. If you say you're from Dallas because you were in Chicago or New York or London or Miami or anywhere else, and they're like, well, where are you from? You say, I'm from Dallas or Dallas Fort Worth or whatever. Like I get that because that's a point of interest. If you are in Dallas, though, no one says they're from Dallas if they're from Frisco or Garland or Rockwall or Grand Prairie or Arlington or any of these places. And if your customers are all coming from the immediate area, same thing. I don't want you saying your Dallas location, if I'm looking for it, if it's in Arlington, because I don't want to go to Arlington. Arlington is not Dallas. Exactly, Aaron Kyle, right there. How's the little one feeling, by the way, Aaron? So what else? Jackie is telling Aaron, Monday mornings, first thing is the best too. They restock things Sunday night. So everything is there. Oh, you said something before. You said Sunday morning before church is out and you have the store to yourself at Central Market. I assume that y'all go to the one that's over there just over off of like like west of University, where that weird looking church thing is over there in Fort Worth. It looks pretty, but I don't know. Mike is saying those fajitas were so good because he cooked them. I agree. And the beef ones were not from there, right? The beef ones were from like La Michoacana or something, I believe you said. I want to put those fajitas in the air fryer. Ours has a dehydrate setting, and turn them into beef jerky. The flavor was so good. Anyway, alrighty. Well, let me look at the comments because I'm out of time. I gotta get the Peloton. I don't know what time Todd gets done. I gotta get the Peloton out with Todd's help out of the back of the car. I'm not doing that all by myself. It literally, like, I need to Google how much a Peloton weighs just so I know what we're working with. Ooh, that's a good idea, making jerky. So I started to put one of them in there, just seeing how it would do. It set itself for 8 hours, so it takes 8 hours to dehydrate in the air fryer. I don't know if our circuits can take that. I blow breakers all the time using the air fryer on the wrong things. Old house problems. So, what did Todd say about the Peloton? So I told him either late yesterday or early this morning, I can't remember which, that I was going to get it. And he was like, "You already did it that fast?" But then he had seen that I had commented on it on someone's Facebook thing. I guess it let him know. So it wasn't a total surprise that I was like circling the airport, but Michelle's going to watch and probably film us from her window. Oh my goodness. So, alrighty. Well, with that, I'm going to say bye. I love you. It's important to know you are loved. Always, it's important to know that. I love that you watch this. This is my therapy, as I always say. And tomorrow's Friday, y'all. How did that fucking happen? How did Friday sneak? I guess that's what happened when you go out of town until Tuesday. So I will see you tomorrow at 4:30 for another episode of Cooped Up Live. Should I say? Talk to you later. Love y'all. Bye.